Welcome back, everybody. This is the Vintage Sewing Machine Garage, and today I am making a follow-up video to show you how I'm trying to diagnose what is going on with this otherwise strikingly mint Spartan sewing machine made by the Singer Manufacturing Company once upon a time. Now, I'm going to install the machine. I'm not actually going to mount it here. It has a mounting screw, but I'm only doing this because I want to test how it's running. When I finish with the machine, I will definitely be securing it. Remember, I showed you all this machine has a mounting bolt and wing nut, and that's what holds it to its carry case. But for my purposes right now, I'm going to lift this beast and watch your cords. Now remember, don't pinch your cords. Be gentle when you set the machine down. That's plastic after all. It's thick plastic, but this is a heavy beast. So let's be kind to our 1958 or so plastic case. All right, I've plugged the machine in. I do want to. I have my foot controller, speed controller, foot pedal by any other name. And I'm just going to, I have not inspected or opened it up yet, but I'm holding on to it, right? And I'm shaking it. I'm not hearing porcelain rattling. That does not mean it is not damaged. But again, the prior owner did not describe to me. I got a little more information on this machine than I normally get from people when I get them. Most of the people I get sewing machines from don't sew and don't know anything about machines. They often inherit them, or they find them and they don't know what to do with them. So, but this owner, because she has worked with this machine before, she did not complain of any issues with the actual, speed control. So, and there were no apparent problems with the wiring. And I've gone behind and inspected. I don't see any issues with the wiring. So what am I doing now? I am going make sure we've got our bobbin winder mechanism up off of the hand wheel. We've got our belt, looks fine. So this is the first time that I'm going to have a listen to the machine. You guys can join along with me. Let's see what it does or what it doesn't do. Look at that. Look at the slow needle control. This is the original Singer foot pedal. It is a carbon pile. It is not an electronic foot pedal, which are wonderful. I often sometimes upgrade machines for people to a modern electronic generic branded foot pedal. But Singer carbon pile speed controllers are some of the finest you'll ever encounter. I mean, to have an analog device give that level of control, it's typically much slower needle control than you would get with a rheostat. Not that there have been some fantastic rheostats. I don't want to. I'm going to apply more. And that was full speed there. Now, if this machine had hesitated in moving, I know that the prior owner had oiled it. If this was one of the machines you more commonly see on this channel, you know, some of the hard luck Cinderella stories, I would actually go in and start giving it lubrication before I even tried to do this. But so now you may notice, by the way, if any of you are new to this model or new to the 99, 66, 185 family of Singer machines, you may have noticed that you see the vibration? That vibration is not unusual because of the way this mechanism was engineered. This is like a tractor. If the Singer 201 is a Rolls-Royce, this is a tractor. This is arguably one of the strongest top-loading bobbin machines you'll ever find. But the mechanism creates its own vibration. So for some sewers, they don't mind at all. In fact, they sew all the time with these in carry cases, whether it's a 99 or 66, 185, or even the Spartan. just know that if you can install these into tables, Singer made tables with this 3/4 width dimension just for these machines, and they're not that hard to get, honestly. Some people went in and said, well, I can only afford the little Singer, but I'd like a table. There are all kinds of combinations you could do in the dealerships there. So if you are looking at one of these machines, or you really like them, but you're concerned about some of the vibration. Now, to be fair, this is not sitting on a very sturdy, heavy table to begin with. It's actually this is a fold-up table that I'm using here. So part of that is just the table, so we can't blame the machine for all of that. But if you want a machine that doesn't vibrate quite as much, you can actually take this or any of its cousin models and put it in a proper sewing table, and that will greatly reduce the vibration. You'll still have some, but again, generations of people sewed with millions of these machines without complaint. So don't let that disturb you. And if you're not sure about whether you would like that, you can always you can find someone who has one and says, hey, can I try this out? Or maybe you're looking at one for sale. If they can set it up for you and say, do you mind if I do some test stitching on it before I pay for the machine? Which all of my clients do, or they're invited to do. Okay, so, well, let's come over here, and I want to look at and listen to this motor. I mean, there's almost no noise at all. That is a clean motor that has not had not a lot of miles on it. Now, what else can we do? I'm going to loosen the clutch knob, and yep, it works just fine. And now we're going to listen to the motor. All that other sound you heard was the machine itself, right? It's not like the Singer 2-1. It's not, Rolls-Royce quiet, but that doesn't mean it's not an incredible machine. Obviously it is. Now let's see what the motor sounds like when we disengage the needle bar, because we just pretend like you're winding a bobbin, but I want to see what the motor sounds like. That's full speed, and coming back. I'm just easing up. It's interesting. This motor is almost as quiet as the one on a 201, but that's really amazing. Well, so far, based on everything I've been doing and inspecting, I don't know if I would make a good Sherlock Holmes, but if any of you are better Holmes or Dr. Watson, let me know what you think. Why do you think this machine is having problems? If you're not sure, maybe you have an idea why it won't stitch. Won't stitch a proper stitch, which the prior owner told me that it did not. Have you ever had issues or problems with a machine of this design? The next thing we need to do is the thing that I have often told all of you is one of the ways in which your machine speaks to you. When you have a vintage device that is analog based, it has no motherboard, it has no microprocessors, it has no software, it has no codes. But that's one of the reasons all these years later we can still overhaul them, restore them, and use them, because we don't need software that's long since not supported, because it never had any. But there's no code to read to tell you what the machine thinks is wrong with it. It leaves the brains up to us, for good or ill. So we have to solve the mystery of what it's doing. It will function if we can understand what the problem is, but that's up to us. That's not the machine's responsibility. It has a duty, and that is to sew like a tough little sewer through all kinds of fabric. And this machine could and did, and hopefully will again once we solve the mystery. Anyway, if you found this video useful or helpful, please consider donating to my channel. You can click on any of the Buy Me a Coffee links, and it takes you right to my Buy Me a Coffee page. It will help me as I seek to expand the number of machines I purchase and this particular machine was not purchased, but 95% of all the machines on this channel I have to pay for, and getting your support will really help me. I can expand the models and the brands to bring onto the channel here, to have you all watch me as I go through them, sharing different techniques, and get them into the hands of people who will use them, because sewing machines like to work. They like to be run. Thank you all for supporting this channel, and I'll see you next time.